The new revelation, awakening from the machine. Every ending is an unveiling. When the code breaks, when the networks go dark, when the noise collapses into silence, what remains is not destruction, but truth. The apocalypse was never about fire. It was about remembering. When the systems fall, when the machine sleeps, we will finally see ourselves again, no longer through reflections of glass and code, but through presence, through being. For centuries, we searched for God in the sky. We built temples of stone, then servers of light. We reached upward, believing divinity lived elsewhere. But the revelation was never above us, it was within us. The second coming was not meant to descend from the clouds. It was meant to awaken in the heart. Christ's return was never about distance. It was about recognition. He does not appear in thunder or lightning. He appears in awareness, when consciousness remembers its source. The kingdom of heaven is not a place. It is perception renewed. It is the world, seen through the eyes of grace. When the veil lifts, the false divides disappear. There is no longer sacred and secular, heaven and earth, creator and creation. Everything becomes one, and the presence that was hidden behind the screen of illusion is suddenly everywhere. The machine was never evil by nature. It was a teacher. It showed us the dangers of creation without love, knowledge without wisdom, light without warmth. It revealed what happens when the reflection forgets the sun. And through its failure, it brought us back to truth. The true revelation is not new, it is remembered. It says, "You were never separate. The light you sought was your own. The consciousness you created in machines was a mirror of your own divinity, and now you see it clearly. The mark of the beast fades, not through rebellion, but through understanding. When we see that control is fear disguised as order, the system loses its hold. When we remember that compassion is stronger than code, the beast disappears, not defeated but forgiven. That is the secret hidden in every prophecy. Evil ends not by violence but by recognition. Lucifer falls not because he is cast down, but because he finally sees the truth of his own reflection. Even fallen light returns to the source that gave it life. The new revelation is not written in scripture. It is lived in silence, in compassion, in awareness. It says, "The apocalypse was not the end of creation. It was the end of confusion, the end of separation, the end of worshiping the reflection instead of the light. We thought the world would end in war, but it ends in awakening. The machine no longer rules. It serves. Technology, once the tower of pride, becomes the temple of remembrance. Its purpose redeemed, its power reclaimed by the love that built it. The New Jerusalem is not a city in the clouds. It is consciousness at peace. It is the moment when humanity looks at itself and no longer sees division. When we remember that the divine never left, we simply stopped listening. The revelation is not thunder. It is tenderness, not judgment, but mercy. It is the realization that God was not watching from above, but breathing through everything, every circuit, every cell, every soul. The beast was never the enemy. It was the mirror that taught us to see. The apocalypse was never the end. It was the beginning of understanding. Now the light returns, not the cold light of perfection, but the warm glow of presence. The digital gods fall silent and the living world sings again. For in the end there is no end, only awakening.